What is up, and welcome back, y'all. Y'all are here at the Smoke Room 420. You already know it. That's Mike and Jujus Smoke Room, the most lit YouTube channel there is, period. Alright, y'all. As always, entertainment purposes only. And with that said, I want to give a massive shout out to all our subscribers. Thank you to the new 5 subscribers today. Thank y'all so much. Before I forget, we have a new YouTube channel. Murder with Mike has now become its own channel. So it's now Murder with Mike Podcast. Y'all can look that up, check it out. I'm really excited about it. It is all going to be still an umbrella under Bigger's production of Mike and Juju Smoke Room. But, we need to start separating some things. Also, this is a medicinal channel. We do smoke on our lives, so I will be smoking tonight. Don't worry, smoking's not your vibe. No biggie. We have all kinds of content that have nothing to do with it. And if you don't like that content, go check out Murder with Mike. Alright, y'all. I'm going to take a couple gummies, just 25 each. Do a gummy. These are apricot or peach. Ooh, man. That's thick. Alright, y'all. Also, I'm going to be smoking on some black runts with Freak Show, a hybrid concentrate that I have put all inside of the joint. So let's go, y'all. Yeah. Goodness. Alright. To everybody that could not make it to the live tonight, that happens to catch this later when it posts to YouTube, please watch the whole thing. Please be patient. It usually takes 15 minutes or so for people to start getting on here and to get some conversation going back and forth. So be patient with us. If you have any questions, or if we ask any questions during the live and you want to answer, just drop those comments. I check all comments and respond. Even to the negative comments, I put a heart. So y'all do your thing. We are going to be trying something later. wonder why there's two of this. Did y'all know that China has a viral Trump impersonator? Opinion. Marijuana is losing favor because it is a truly harmful substance. We are thumbs down in that crap.
You're home for the holidays. Back in the old room.
That is way too fucking loud.
I went to the movies. We watched this here.
I can hear it like it's right next to me. Any pasta eaters out there? I love a good pasta and a red sauce. Here's the problem with that. Right now, there is a death toll rising as Listeria contaminated pasta recalls expand nationwide, y'all. So be careful. Snap recipient says she's deciding between putting gas in the car or buying something to eat. Let's see if they show what kind of car she drives, though. Because I'm always struggling with those two things, and I ain't on Snap. So this post here says, it's another one of those, unlike RFK Jr., I do not want a cure for my son's autism. How do y'all feel about that? Anybody out there that has a kid with autism, would you want them to be cured? Do you think that autism is maybe just something special that hasn't been quite figured out yet? That kind of makes them different in a good way? Recently, I don't know where it's at, but King Tut's complete tomb is on display for the first time at Egypt's new museum. Nice. Have y'all heard about Melody Buzzard, the missing girl? It says that mom of missing girl, Melody Buzzard, switched license plate during road trip. Huh. What up with that? This is MSN News. Ashley Buzzard, the mom of missing 9-year-old Melody Buzzard, allegedly switched license plate during their road trip in an apparent effort to avoid detection. Authorities said, as they narrow in on the timeline, the little girl went missing. Melody and her mom left on a 3-day road trip from Lompoc, California to the Nebraska area. Now, the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office said surveillance images show the 9-year-old in what appears to be a wig at a Santa Barbara area rental car business on October 7th. I wonder if she doesn't have custody of the kid. One of the Grateful Dead backup singers, who also worked with Elvis, passed away after a battle with cancer at 78 years old. Her name, Donna Jean Godchak McKay. Let's see here if we can. Alright, I put it on the wrong side. My bad, Joe. Alright, there y'all go. She passed away in Florence, Alabama. She was a background vocalist on 2 #1 songs, Percy Sledge's When a Man Loves a Woman and Suspicious Minds by Elvis Presley. She is quoted as saying working with Elvis was one of the greatest times of her life. What do y'all think about the RFK Jr. war against ultra-processed foods? Seems like a lot of UK and European places have banned a lot of these things that go into our food. Doesn't seem like a lot of these dyes and different chemicals, like Chick-fil-A's chicken sandwich, over 60 ingredients. Like, that's fucking crazy, y'all. I believe in the UK it has about 4 or 5. Like, what the fuck are those extra ingredients? And why the hell do we need them? George Clooney reveals why he and Amal have never had a fight during their 11-year relationship. They probably don't fucking see each other. Let's be honest. Ooh, it's getting colder. Time that snakes start hibernating. And did you know that snakes can fit through small spaces and often pursue their prey or a place to lay eggs indoors? Here are 5 ways that snakes can end up in your home from MSN. Gaps between the garage and the garage door provide one of the most common entry points for snakes. Any gaps between brick and siding. Any inside large plants that you take outside and bring back in. They can be enticed up the attic, chasing prey. And then they get in your attic and boom. And one of the scariest fucking things that I can think of, there's a snake in the motherfucking toilet. Can y'all imagine? It does say that it says that in spring when they're waking up to eat and in the fall when they're hunting for a warm spot to hibernate is when they are most likely to enter your home. Scary, scary. What's in the long redacted JFK assassination files? If y'all know me at all, you know that I love conspiracy. I love truth is what I love. And one of my favorite is the JFK assassination. 11/22/63, y'all. A lone gunman, Lee Harvey Oswald, assassinated. And let's just go out here and say, for a lot of people who don't realize it, maybe younger people, Lee Harvey Oswald never went to court, y'all. He was never officially tried or convicted of this assassination while he was alive. He was shot by Jack Ruby before he even had a chance to go to court. There's a lot of the Babusha lady, the Grassy Knoll, the Lone Gunman, the driver doing it. Was there a third seat and 6 people, or was there 2 seats and 4 people? So many things that can take you down a rabbit hole with this case. Bad Company. Well, it recently Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. Paul Rogers, the singer, was forced to set out due to health issues. Let's send him good vibes. Worked that hard to get somewhere like that, and you can't even attend. In the crime world, Florida boat builder faces 30 years in prison for ripping off customers in 6 states. My guy was out there moving, y'all. Video shows the aftermath of deadly avalanche on a Himalayan peak. Diane Ladd, Oscar-nominated actress, passed away yesterday. Her daughter is also a very famous actress, Laura Dern. Best wishes to that family and good vibes. Hunter, missing for nearly 20 days, is found. A hunter missing nearly 3 weeks in the California wilderness has been found. Crazy. This morning, a incredible story of survival. A California hunter has been found alive after being stranded in the Sierra wilderness for 20 days. All right, Sierra wilderness. This is the same land that the Teresa Beer case 40 years ago was took place at, where she went missing, and the story was that Bigfoot got her. You can check that story out on Murder with Mike podcast, our new channel. 65-year-old Ron Daly, failing to return home from a hunting trip, his family contacted Fresno County Sheriff, kicking off a massive search and rescue operation, which became even more urgent as the days passed. His family said he had enough food for a couple weeks, and without his diabetes medicine, they were worried. Lost after taking a wrong turn and ended up in a rough, unfamiliar terrain. He says his truck eventually broke down, leaving him with no choice but to walk and find help. I go, well, this is it, Ron. Either try to walk out or you're going to sit here and die. Man, what a survival story. Jennifer Aniston confirms new romance. You go, girl. Dick Cheney passed away. I don't know if anybody heard that. "20 baby names that were popular in the 1950s. Let's see. James. Of course, the most common name, I think. Mary. Michael. Second most common name ever, behind James. Michael. Susan. John. Deborah. Deborah. William. Karen. Damn, Karen's. Robert. Linda. Charles. Patricia. David, my brother's name. Barbara. Richard. Old Dick. Nancy. Gary. Sharon. Mark. Elizabeth. One of my favorite movies of all time, The Outsiders. Really great book turned into a really great movie by Francis Ford Coppola. Diane Lane said recently that The Outsiders set had way too much testosterone for one girl. I can imagine. Yes, so many young heartthrobs on that one before they were famous. The only two states in the lower 48 with no native venomous snakes to worry about. What do y'all think they are? I am curious. Oh, Pheidiophobia. Diamond rattle. Florida's got Maine and Rhode Island? Huh. So has she been missing for a year? She was missing for a year and now she's been spotted. Okay. Predator Badlands, who's gonna watch it? Here's a crazy story. Fourth person passes at Disney World in less than 1 month. What is going on at Disney World? At least people aren't being pulled into walls and shit. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you know what I know. Oh, man. Father and son died a painful death after being stung by hundreds of hornets. Damn. "25 Hollywood actresses who passed away in 2025. Let's see. We got Diane Keaton, Pat Crowley, okay. Paula Shaw, Polly Holiday. That was a great show, Flow. I don't know the name of the show for sure. Danielle Spencer from What's Happening? Lonnie Anderson, married to Burt Reynolds at one time. Elaine Fulton, known for her role As the World Turns. I wouldn't have known that. Lynn Hamilton, the girlfriend of Sanford on Sanford and Son. Renee Victor. I believe she was in Lupita in Weeds. Okay. Valerie Mahaffey. I did not know she passed away. She was on Wings. She was very hot on Wings. She was the sister of the blonde. Dang, she's that old though? Oh my god. I'm fucking 48 almost. Loretta Swit, Lorna Raver, Patty Maloney, Michelle Trachtenberg, Gossip Girl. She had diabetes problems, kidney failure, I believe. Lan Marie Stewart, don't know her. It says Miss Yvonne and Miss Yvonne, Pee-wee's Playhouse. Okay. Joan Plowert, Claudia Cardinale. Oh, that's from 1960s? Damn. She was 87. She was gorgeous, especially for that time period. Elaine Merkbinder. She was a child actress in The Wizard of Oz. Kelly Mack, y'all. Played Addie in The Walking Dead. She had brain cancer, I believe. Samantha Egger. Dr. Dolittle, 1967. The Uncanny 77. Fight with Leukemia. Pernilla Scales. Dementia. June Lockhart, y'all. Petticoat Junction. Really old show most of you probably haven't seen. Oh, Sophie Nawai. She was 24 when she passed. It's terrible. And Patricia Routledge. She was a BBC, y'all watch your mouths, British broadcast actress. Alright, y'all. Rest in peace to all those fine actresses. Coffee in a joint, y'all. What else we got here? Dances with the Stars. 7 scientifically proven side effects a man gets when growing a beard. As someone with a beard, let's see. Worst testosterone killers in young men. No, that's not it. Okay. Y'all tripping, cuz. I guess we have to watch the video. Beards that are in the bearded look was once reserved for mountain men and lumberjacks. Anyone can rock a beard these days. When a man grows a beard, scientifically, attraction is a matter of personal taste, but in general, the majority of people find men with beards to be more attractive than men without. You look smaller, weaker. 8,000 heterosexual women survey preferred men with at least some scrub. Covers our faces. Better long-term partners if they have a long beard. More masculine, dominant, and socially mature, as well as more responsible. Men with beards look angry and aggressive. Having facial hair reduces your exposure to sunlight by about 1/3 compared to a clean-shaven face. So that's good. Blocking that sun. I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Aren't we supposed to sun gauge? Shit. What do you want to be? Ever wonder why Santa sports that giant fluff bag on his chin? Hair keeps a man's face warmer. Okay, we knew that. Boo, I'm done with this. AI has built a brain, grew hands, and might not need us soon. That's scary. What do y'all think about AI? "13 famous people who vanished and were never seen again." Richie Edwards. He was the intense, brilliant lyricist for the Manic Street Preachers, penning most of the lyrics of their iconic 1994 album, The Holy Bible. Just before a U.S. promo tour, the 27-year-old vanished. Does that make him part of the 27 Club? What happened just one day before he was scheduled to fly to the U.S. on February 1st, 1995, the 27-year-old Edwards went missing. He was reportedly seen by fans and a cab driver in the following days. His car was eventually found near the Severn Bridge, a known suicide site. Well, Lord Richard John Bingham, a.k.a. Lord Lucan, was a charming, wealthy, and scandal-ridden British aristocrat, a professional gambler, and regular at London's post-fete clubs. Lucan was known for living lavishly despite a crumbling marriage and big-time money problems. Sounds. On the night of November 7th, 1974, Lucan's children's nanny, 29-year-old Sandra Rivet, was bludgeoned to death in the family home. That same night, Lucan's estranged wife, Veronica, stumbled into a pub covered in blood. She said she too had been attacked and identified her husband as the assailant. Lucan fled the scene, abandoned his car near a port, and was never seen again. Huh. Did he do it? Did his wife do it because he was sleeping with the other lady? Barbara Newhall Follick came from a family of very bright people. Her sister, first woman to graduate Princeton. But she was the brightest of them all. She wrote poetry at age 4, and in 1927, And at just 12, she published her first book, The House Without Windows. After her father would leave the family, her life would crumble. In 1939, at age just 25, after a fight with her husband, whom she suspected of an affair, Barbara walked out of their apartment with the equivalent of just under $700 in today's dollars. She left no note, no trace. Her husband didn't report her missing for 2 weeks, and she was never seen again. Sounds suspicious. Michael Rockefeller. Really crazy case. From the Rockefeller family. Yes, that family, y'all. Michael Rockefeller, American royalty, the 23-year-old son of New York governor and future vice president of the United States, Nelson Rockefeller, who would die while having sex, as described in this post. Okay. Was an art collector, anthropologist, and heir to one of the richest families in history. To his credit, he often turned his back on a life of luxury to seek out adventure. I believe he went and visited a tribe that hadn't been inhabited. New Guinea. 1961, Michael and a colleague were on an expedition in Papua New Guinea to collect indigenous art when their pontoon boat capsized, straining them miles from the shore in a catamaran. After drifting a while, Michael, tired of waiting to be rescued, and said, "I think I can make it," and then paddled off towards land using empty gas cans as flotation. His colleague watched him until he disappeared on the horizon. He was never seen again. I think it was believed that these people he might have made it and then didn't make it. Y'all know what I mean? Dorothy Arnold. She was everything you expect from a New York socialite. Elegant, well-educated, extravagantly rich, and constantly in the public eye. She dreamed of being a writer, but kept her failed published attempts a secret from her disapproving parents. And then, one day, she was just gone. What if she went on to write under other names? And on December 12, 1910, the 25-year-old left her family's Upper East Side home to buy a new evening gown. She would stop by a bookstore and buy a copy of the short story collection, Engaged Girl Sketches, then chatted briefly with a friend on Fifth Avenue. Now that was around 2 p.m., and then, nothing. She vanished in broad daylight and one of Manhattan's busiest streets, never to be seen again. Her family would wait a full day before going to police. Not because they weren't worried, but because they were embarrassed. Of course they were. Her father even hired Pinkerton detectives to look for her in secret, worried that a public scandal could hurt his reputation. Her reputation. Fuck her. But weeks passed and months, nobody, no note. If she did run away, I might understand why. Hey, Jim Sullivan. If y'all don't know about Jim Sullivan, really great musical artist, believed in aliens and that he was abducted or was going to be abducted or was and was again. He had a folk rock musician style, kind of like Graham Parsons. If y'all don't know who Graham Parsons is, there's a really good movie with Johnny Knoxville called Burying Graham Parsons, maybe? Stealing Parsons. Anyway, Johnny Knoxville movie about Graham Parsons, real life guy who passed away in his 20s. He was kind of the pioneer of mixing folk and rock. What happened was when he passed away, his dad, who he wasn't close with, or his family, was coming to get his body. But his roadie and his best friend had promised him that he would take his body to this certain beach and set it on fire and have this certain kind of spiritual setting. So, what's the best friend and roadie do? True story, y'all. He goes to the airport. He gets a guy who has a hearse for a tourist business and steals the body from the airport. Crazy, crazy story, y'all. True story. Anyway, back to Jim Sullivan. 1969, UFO was the debut album. It had a lot of lyrics about desert rose, aliens, and leaving Earth behind. It was not the normal stuff that screamed chart-topping, but it built a cult following many years later, and what a story. Now, March 75, Sullivan left LA to drive to Nashville. He had hopes of kickstarting his music career. He had a lot of friends in the music business, from what I understand, who really said that he was there. He was right on the cusp. He checked into a motel in Santa Rosa, New Mexico, bought a bottle of vodka, and drove out of town. Last time spotted 26 miles away at a ranch, and then never again was he seen. His car was later found abandoned with his wallet, his ID, his guitar, and belongings still inside. A lot of locals in that area said he seemed really disoriented before he vanished as well. Crazy story, though. Alright, y'all. One of the greatest singer-songwriters. Most of you've probably never heard of her. Last name Converse has nothing to do with the shoes, y'all. Connie Converse was writing and recording deeply personal songs in the 1950s. Way, way, way before the singer-songwriter era made that cool. Her voice was intimate and her lyrics literary. But her life would be complicated as the years rolled on. After years of struggling to find an audience, and you know, that was probably a big problem back then. Not being mainstream, too. Especially if you don't want to sell your songs and you want to sing them yourself. It can be a struggle. Connie left New York in the 60s, moved in with her family, and fell into a big depression. She's out there all these years trying to make this happen. I can get it. August 74, she wrote letters to friends and family saying she needed to make a new life. She packed up that Volkswagen Beetle and drove away. At the time, she was 50, y'all. No one has heard from her since. 50 years old. Man, being in your 40s or 50s and trying to start over is crazy. Trust me. It takes a strong person to pick yourself up after a bunch of things, or to start over new with something at that age, and to go through that long struggle, especially being a struggling artist. Man, it can really put a lot on you. Alright, so how many of you out there like Indiana Jones? Any guys, you've probably seen the movies. Harrison Ford, y'all. Well, this guy here, Percy Fawcett, he is the real-life inspiration for that movie. Those movies. He's a British explorer, obsessed with the uncharted Amazon, and the belief that an ancient, lost civilization was hidden there. He called it the City of Z. I'm going to say he got lost out in there, but let's see. In 25, the 57-year-old Fawcett set out into the Brazilian jungle with his 21-year-old son Jack and Jack's best friend Rayleigh. With big plans to finally locate the city he had spent decades theorizing about. "We shall return," Fawcett told reporters ahead of the trip, "and we shall bring back what we seek." However, after sending a final message via courier from a remote outpost, that entire party vanished. No confirmed trace of any of them was ever found. Over 100 would-be rescuers and adventurers followed the same footsteps that these guys did, and some even vanished themselves. Some were killed by tribes in the region. A few come back convinced that Fawcett had died. Others had stories that he lived among indigenous people. What if this lost civilization was out there and it was some kind of utopia and they just decided to stay? Or once you find it, you're not allowed to leave. You know, nobody wants something like that being found if you're hiding it. Alright, y'all. Amelia Earhart. Very, very talented pilot. She was already a global icon when, in 1937, she set out to become the first woman to fly around the world. She was smart, daring, fiercely independent, and she was the face of American aviation, y'all. Also, one of the most famous people in the world at the time. But here she is on this list, so you already know that trip did not end well, y'all. July 2nd, 1937, somewhere over the Pacific, somewhere near Howland Island. Contact with Earnhardt's plane was lost. She and navigator Fred Newland were never seen again. Despite one of the largest and most expensive search efforts ever launched at the time, neither her wreckage nor bodies were recovered. There's a lot of theories in this one. That she ran out of fuel and crashed in the sea. She crash landed on a nearby island and died a castaway. She was killed by the Japanese after accidentally flying into territory they control. There's also been recently a picture of a lady and a man with a tribe of indigenous people sitting next to the water, and the woman looks very, very, very similar to Amelia Earhart, and the guy looks very similar to Fred Newland. So, who knows? Could she be out there living among some indigenous people? Might be nicer. Alright, this next guy, Harold Hope. Harold, good name. How many of you out there know what the short name, like Johnny is John, Michael is Mike? Do y'all know what the short name for Harold is? I'll give it a while, and let us know in the comments if you do. Otherwise, I'm not going to tell. Harold Hope was Prime Minister of Australia, and he was a close ally of United States President Lyndon B. Johnson. Lyndon B. Johnson, when he went for a swim and vanished from the ocean. Okay, so two out swimming and doesn't come back. It was December 17th, 1967. Must have been, I guess this was a warmer area. Holt went for a swim at Cheviot Beach near Port St. Victoria. Excuse me, y'all. Now, it wasn't a great idea. The conditions were rough and the current strong. Holt would swim out to sea and then disappear from view forever. Now, the government launched one of the largest search operations in Australian history, but nobody ever washed ashore. Nothing turned up. So it seems most likely he drowned. But Holt was quoted as saying a lot that he knew this swimming spot like the back of his hand. Some believe he may have faked his death and ran off with his lover. Others claim he was a Chinese spy who picked up by a submarine. Huh. You know, who knows? Seems more plausible that he just happened to get a cramp or have a bad day. Alright, Glenn Miller, big swing band guy. He was a famous band leader. And his music, swing music, really defined a whole generation, if we're being honest. World War II began. He enlisted as a captain of the U.S. Army, Air Force, and led the Army Air Force Band with a mission to boost morale. Now, this was a lot of hard work, a lot of hard times, a lot of bad, dangerous traveling, according to Noah Adams, NPR's Noah Adams. It worked, though, and Miller was promoted to general just a few months before he was last seen. Okay, so if you don't know, in the military, you know, the military has bands, they do all these big events, they have sporting teams, they have everything you could think of within their military branch. And just because somebody's in the military doesn't mean that they're necessarily, even in wartime, out there fighting the way that other people are. You know, these people were in the Air Force, and their job was to be a musician. My grandfather, his name was Harold, which goes back to the question I asked a minute ago. If anybody knows that, comments. What is the short name for Harold? My grandpa Harold was in the Air Force, and his entire time in the Air Force, other than boot camp, of course, he traveled on the all Air Force baseball team as a pitcher, and that's what he did. He played baseball for the United States Air Force. Glenn Miller, one of the world's biggest stars. He was a famous band leader, like we said. On December 15th, 1944, Miller boarded a small aircraft in England, which was headed for Paris, where his band was scheduled to perform. Somewhere over the English Channel, the plane would vanish. No mayday call, no crash site, no bodies, just gone. Seems like this one's not that mysterious. It says that there was bad conditions. You know, it seems like his plane just had a malfunction. Now this next one, y'all, looks like a real character, don't he? I don't know if y'all can tell, but that shadow, that's not a crazy hairdo. He has a normal hairdo. It's just got a lot of shading here, which blends in with the hair because it's black and white. Alright, one of America's greatest writers, a journalist and author who survived the Civil War and wrote the classic The Devil's Dictionary, which defines peace as a period of cheating between two periods of fighting. Huh. That's crazy. Alright, here we go. 1913. He was 71 years old. He joined Pancho Villa's rebel army in Mexico. Huh. At 71, that's crazy, yeah. So, if any of you are history fans or fans of Billy the Kid, Outlaw Cowboys, there's a new movie coming out, Young Guns 3, which tells a story. You know, 2 was about Brushy Bill Roberts. Brushy Bill Roberts was a man who claimed to be Billy the Kid and asked for a pardon. It turns out that there's a lot of evidence that Brushy Bill Roberts did not speak fluent Spanish, and probably, in my opinion, was not Billy the Kid. There's another man who showed up shortly after Billy the Kid was supposedly unalived, with a wound to his chest or stomach, resembling Billy the Kid, with a Mexican young lady who was Billy the Kid's girlfriend at the time when he was unalived. And the two got married and went on to live. There's a whole big story about it. You can find it on Mike and Jujus Smoke Room right here in our shows. But I believe that guy was Billy the Kid if he was still alive. The story is, though, in part 3 of Young Guns, my bad, y'all, Billy the Kid fakes his death, goes down, and rides with Pancho Villa's rebel army in Mexico. Sounds awesome. Alright. Pierce joined Pancho Villa's rebel army. To be a gringo, he wrote a few letters from the front, one ending with the line, "To be a gringo in Mexico? Oh, that is enthusiasm." And then stopped writing completely. There was no confirmed sightings, no remains, and no definite reports of his fate. Some say he was unalive during battle. Others think Villa's men executed him. And some believe he was never in Mexico at all, that his letters from Mexico were subterfuge to allow him to secretly die by suicide at the Grand Canyon. A lot of theories here, y'all. Alright, our last one, y'all. Really cool street artist. Oscar Zeta Acosta. Larger than life figure. A Chicano activist. A lawyer. A novelist. And the real life inspiration for Dr. Gonzo. Oh, okay. I thought this was a street artist. This is just him by a street artist. Got you. So, if you've seen Loathing Las Vegas, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, it's about Hunter S. Thompson. Johnny Depp does an incredible job playing him. Hunter S. Thompson is a writer, really great friend of his, and is portrayed in this movie is a Oscar Zeta Acosta, known as Dr. Gonzo, who was played by Benicio del Toro in the movie. Very intense person, though. Alright, what happened? There you go. This is from the movie. 1974, Acosta, who had become increasingly erratic and involved with drugs, traveled to Mexico where he called his son and told him that he was about to board a boat full of white snow. Now that was the last anyone ever heard of him. Sounds like cocaine. Hunter S. Thompson said Acosta could have ate too much peyote and just walked off a cliff. Might have been killed by drug dealers who's target of a political assassination. A lot of theories here, y'all. A lot of theories. Wow, that was really cool. That was a good dive into a lot of 13 famous people who have vanished out of nowhere, y'all. You know, it's so many people vanish, and when someone famous or someone that the whole world sees vanishes, it just really seems to shine a brighter light on it. That's why I want to talk real fast about Murder with Mike podcast, our new channel. It's a show we've been doing, but now it's its own channel. It's about shining that light on all those people who have vanished or been murdered and their cases haven't been solved. Because it's not just the famous people, guys. It's all of us are equal. Every case is just as important. So go check out that channel if you don't mind, guys. Coffee and a joint. But yeah, that was cool. That was a good little combination of stories. She was found what? She was found alive, hopefully. I don't want to have to read every story to know if it's how they get you. Aww. 10 notable actresses whose lives ended early. Probably know all of these real well. Again, famous cases like Brittany Murphy that haven't been solved. Like, it's so awesome the light they get. Marilyn Monroe. But the honest thing is, there's so many people out there that aren't famous that need that same bright light shined on their case. And that's what we do at Murder with Mike, y'all. Alright, so Marilyn Monroe, of course. We know that. We've got Marilyn. Oh, she's covered up right now. You can see right under the screen here, over here. Yeah, over here. Like right down there. You can see the bottom of her dress and her arms. Alright, Marilyn Monroe, platinum blonde shell who redefined Hollywood glamour, found at 36 in her bedroom unalive. Her mysterious passing from barbiturates overdose sparked decades. And remember, y'all, this is all MSN news. A lot of conspiracy theories. She done a lot of great movies. She was married a few times to Arthur Miller and Joe DiMaggio. And of course, happy birthday, Mr. President. Y'all all know it. The affair with JFK and Robert Kennedy. But what an amazing woman. And what a sad ending to another amazing woman. I think she lived close to 50 though. Judy Garland, y'all. Wizard of Oz. Meet Me in St. Louis. Frank Sinatra called her the greatest performer of, I think he said, of all time. Sharon Tate. This is a sad case, y'all. If you know anything about Charles Manson, Charlie Manson, Charles Manson, the Charles Manson killings, the Charles Manson girls, the guy named Tex. This is a terrible case. She was pregnant. She was married to famous foreign director. Anyway, he lived somewhere else, and she was living there. He was working on a project in another country. She had a friend staying with her, a male friend, ex-boyfriend, and several other friends. And Charles Manson thought someone else lived there who was connected to, I don't want to mess up any names, connected to one of the Beach Boys, and who Charles Manson thought stole his song because he was a good songwriter. One of his songs is sung by the Beach Boys. And anyway, Sharon Tate and her husband had moved in there since that guy had lived there. Charles Manson sent these people there. And whether they knew it was the wrong house or not, Charles Manson's thing was to make a public eye of rich, famous people. He felt shunned by them. And so I think it wouldn't have mattered if it was the right house, wrong house, as long as someone famous was there. Did he know it was Sharon Tate? I don't know. Very beautiful woman that was really shooting to the top in fame that was taken too early. Brittany Murphy, y'all. 1977, she was born. I believe 2009 she passed away. '87, '97, 2007, so 32. What I do know about her, she had a kind of outing with Hollywood for some reason. I do know she was connected to Ashton Kutcher, and now that we know the things about Ashton Kutcher and P. Diddy. But she died of pneumonia the same way Kim Porter did. Kim Porter is P. Diddy's ex. And her husband died of pneumonia not long after that in the same house that she passed away in. I really think that this is a really important case that needs to be dove into and figured out. Justice for Brittany Murphy, not Brittany that's still alive and seems to keep doing the things to herself. Justice for Brittany Murphy, who can't fix things. We got Jean Harlow, y'all. 26 when she died. Did different movies. I don't know this case. Kidney failure. Had 3 bad marriages. Scandal when her husband committed suicide. She was cleared of involvement. Says that her life would have been saved with modern medicine, but in the 30s, it was one of those things that, didn't know this one. Natalie Wood. So Natalie Wood, where we see the story, Christopher Walken, I believe, and Natalie Wood's husband, really famous guy. Anyway, the 3 were out on a boat that Natalie and her husband owned. Some believe it was some kind of weird sexual thing. Some believe that there was an affair with Christopher and Natalie because they were working on a movie at the time. Robert Wagner is the husband's name, I believe. And some believe Robert Wagner did something, but she fell over the boat. Yeah, Christopher Walken, Robert Wagner. She was in Rebel Without a Cause, West Side Story. Just great acting. Really sad story. Another case that probably needs to be investigated better. Carol Lombard. The queen of screwball comedy. We all know screwball comedy. I love it. She was in her 30s. Just 34. TWA Flight 3 following a war bond rally. The plane crashed into Nevada's Potasai Mountain, killing all 22 aboard. She wasn't even 34 yet. She was 33. America mourned. Clark Gable mourned. They were married. Really sad. Jane Mansfield. So, Jane Mansfield doesn't get near the credit that she should. Because Jane was super intelligent, yet she played the Marilyn Monroe type, ditzy blonde type so fucking perfect. So perfect. Very intelligent woman. Really doesn't get the credit she deserves because she didn't have the scandals that Marilyn Monroe did, which is crazy. I guess, like, drama is Hollywood news, so I get it, but I don't get it. Alright. She had, listen. She carved her own path with a genius level IQ of 163. Yet she played this fluent in 5 languages. 34 car crash. So the accident prompted the creation of Under-ride guards on trucks, now known as Mansfield bars. A safety legacy that continues to save lives today. I believe she was 12 or 13. Heather O'Rourke, Poltergeist. I believe she was really sick on and off for a while. And, I mean, it could have been something paranormal from the movie and the stuff they did. If that's the way you think, it could have easily been a low immune system and several things that weren't identified because of her ongoing schedule and the way her parents pushed her to do these films and not getting the correct treatment she should have. That sounds more plausible. Aaliyah, y'all, I believe it was a car crash. Aaliyah was really rising. I'm talking movies. I'm talking hits. Let's see, yeah. Overloaded aircraft. 9 people after takeoff. Her legacy, it crashed. Her legacy lives on through artists like Drake and Rihanna, who sample her music. Is that it? That was it, y'all. Yeah, that was another cool one. Top 15 lesbian Hollywood couples. I'll check that out later. No, I'm just playing. Let's see here. The oldest living actors in the Hollywood. Deep fake voice generator. There's no way that's free. Can I do that? Look at you, Michael. You're a genius, bro. Let's split these, open them both. Alright. Anna Nicole Smith's lookalike daughter goes as Rogue for Halloween. She's 19 now. That is so crazy, y'all. 19 now. Couple really crazy cases there, too. Of Hollywood and crazy deaths. Her son, Anna Nicole Smith, and her. Continue with email. Should I trust this, y'all? Let's see what happened. 30 famous people who hit 7. It's kind of cold down here, y'all. I'm going to turn the heat on. Y'all don't know, the smoker room is a old 4-car garage, and it gets cold sometimes. Like, it doesn't have, like, it's closed in now, like a big room. It doesn't have, like, a garage door, and it's insulated, but not insulated great. It's still got a concrete floor with some cracks in it. Still gets creepy crawlies all around when it's cold and they're trying to come in and get in. Will you stop it? I don't know what's going on now. Do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? No. Ah, fuck it. What's going on? I feel like something wasn't plugged in. That was a waste of time. What's going on? I don't know what's going on here. It's being all crazy. Keeps beeping at me. I don't know why. Alright, y'all. Let's see. Appreciate everybody who checked in tonight. Anybody who watches later, love you all.